All right. Yeah, I started thinking about, I was like, these are all things that we kind of talk about or want to know about. And
Yeah.
it's be nice to focus it, and then people can bring their ideas,
Yeah.
have special guests come.
I like special guests too. You're good. Phil's good. Special guests are good.
Yeah, this is the special guest, Jeremy.
Hey,
Hi.
Jeremy.
Uh,
Hey.
Good morning.
this is Beth.
Nice to meet you, Beth.
Years and years ago, when I was still a working slob, our company has a gym in the basement, and it happened to be in the building that I was in, and there was no way I could avoid going to the gym. So this is when I was doing a lot of modern competitive step and competing. So I knew I needed to like level up. And I went in, and there's one of the trainers was behind the desk, and I said, well, I'm a dancer and I want to start training. And she was so excited because she had trained as a ballerina when she was young and then had gone into the fitness industry. And it was great training with her. She had so much fun just trying to figure out new exercises and to do, and it really helped me level up my dancing. Then she left, and we totally lost track of each other, and so that's kind of been the end of my dance focused personal training. But while I had it, it was just really great. We did strength training and agility training and cardiovascular. You just really mixed it up.
Awesome.
It was really cool.
Cool.
Yeah, that's kind of, I mean, I've really enjoyed working with Jeremy because when I was doing it really on a regular basis and we were working in the gym, I felt like I could dance a lot stronger. I mean, my dancing was a lot better.
Yeah, yeah,
Especially
there's no doubt.
hitting the floor the way because I thought I had a real crisp, clean sound, and then we did a bunch of booty stuff. I was like, oh, I can hit the floor even harder. So it's kind of neat to see that, like the more strength come.
Yeah, it's cool. I found the agility training helped me a lot too. Well, particularly for competitive stuff, because there's a lot fast and it's larger movements.
Morning, Edith. Welcome.
Edith's making breakfast.
Good morning. I got kind of delayed doing things this morning and I'm behind schedule. So and I'm making noise, so I'll mostly stay mute.
Yeah, so this is Jeremy.
Hello.
And Edith is in California. Beth is in California. My dad is here in Portland. And yeah, we'll see if anybody else joins. Sometimes it's a larger group, sometimes it's a smaller group.
Well, last week started out small and got really big. I mean, a lot of people, I think a lot of people were interested. I think a lot of people will be interested in this week's topic too.
Cool. So yeah, I've been working with a couple years. I've been working with you, Jeremy.
Yeah, maybe since like 2015 or 16.
Yeah. I met him at LA Fitness. He was one of the trainers there, and then since then he's started his own business. And we, in our training sessions, would kind of start to talk. We wound up talking and realized that we both like MMA or UFC, and he does boxing and boxing coaching. So I kind of started doing some of that, which was really, really fun.
Well, I'll confess, I actually have a pair of gloves that I haven't used very much.
Ooh.
My son's really into MMA, so we even have a heavy bag hanging in the garage.
Oh, cool. Perfect.
Yeah, he's he trains at a gym locally, but hasn't been able to since COVID.
Yeah.
Really misses it. So
Yeah. My students, we've just been punching air for the last couple of months, but we make it work.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, Meldon,
yes.
did you see Emily Sanderson's stretching post?
No.
She's doing a free Zoom stretch on Friday, but I don't think I can get down the floor with her.
Oh, it just takes practice, Phil.
That was Jeremy and I were talking that might be, if you guys are interested, it might be a good thing to look at. Because some people, yeah, like it's harder for them to get up and off the floor and down on the floor to do some of the stretches. She's a step dancer that is also
Melanie.
is it Melanie or Melanie's
Melanie.
twin? Okay. So Melanie's a step dancer. That should be really good. And she did some gym and personal training stuff. Yeah.
Right on.
So Jeremy, you want to tell us a little bit about you or about yourself?
Sure, yeah. Okay, so hi guys, good morning. My name is Jeremy Posadas. I graduated from Portland State University in 2015. From there, I got my first gig as a personal trainer over at LA Fitness in Portland, Oregon. I think Melton is actually one of my first clients. So she got to take the brunt of a lot of my experimenting as I was learning how to be a trainer. I like to think I've been a little more refined since we started. She's actually made a lot of progress just in terms of her strength and her endurance. Despite me having a clientele full of younger testosterone-filled males, she's able to keep up with them. So I'm very proud of her. I'm very proud of her work ethic and her coachability. Yeah, Melton's great. The reason I got into fitness was because I guess it would be when I was younger, I was bullied a lot for being overweight. So I was able to find confidence and security in fitness. I was able to kind of take back my what's the word? Self-confidence. Yeah, I was able to take back self-confidence from the bullies, and also helped once I hit puberty. The muscles came, so that was nice. Yeah. Since then, let's see. I worked at LA Fitness until about maybe 2018 or so. Yeah, 2018. The thing about LA Fitness, it was great getting my toes wet in the water, but my clients were paying like $40 to $50 per half-hour session, and I was only getting like $9 of that. So I was like, there has to be another way for me to make better money. So I learned that Malden actually has her own business, and so going through the process, she was able to give me a lot of pointers, and was really instrumental in me making my decisions and how to open my own business and how to get that started. So in 2018 is when I actually went out and started my own brick and mortar business, but it was more like subcontracting. And I was subcontracting out of a powerlifting gym for the last 2 years until COVID hit. And then since then, I've switched my entire business model online. So now my clients and my boxing online. So we do strength training, conditioning for my one-on-ones, and then we do boxing together in like a Zoom class like this, where everyone's doing the set routine, and I'm just watching. Kind of similar to how Malden does it with their dancing, but yeah, we're just punching air, but we make it work. So yeah, guys, that's just kind of a general spiel about me.
And one of the things that I kind of noticed, like with the way Jeremy would explain moves to me, and if I didn't get them, he kind of came up with some other like alternative way or an image to make it work. And it reminded me a lot of the way I teach. Especially when you're in a live class and you get to work, you can see when people are getting it or not getting it. being able to adjust to whatever it is that makes sense to each person. So that's kind of one of the reasons I really liked his teaching style, is that it reminded me that same way that I teach Shanos dancing and he was teaching the boxing.
Yeah, there's a lot of parallels between dancing and boxing. It's all about rhythm, footwork, and timing. So when Malden's up there and I'm trying to teach her the steps, I was like, oh, okay, she has a little more rhythm than most people when they first start. And yeah, it's just kind of cool to see that translate because she's a little more graceful on her feet, holds her body a little stronger. And there's a lot of the concepts that we teach, just like in terms of like how to punch. Like when a lot of people first start, they're kind of really slow and off beat. But if I give Malden like a tempo, like a pop, 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 she'll like that, just get it. So it's kind of cool just to see how coachable she is when it comes to that stuff.
Did anybody have any questions for Jeremy about
Yeah, fire away, guys. Anything.
this or our personal training things?
So you just focus on fight skills primarily.
It depends on the client. Like with boxing, it's like a mix of cardio as well as teaching, like skills, I suppose. So every week there's a different theme that we focus on. So first I'll go through and explain the techniques, and the first half is kind of like a classroom where you kind of sit down and watch, and then you guys get the demo, and then we take the incorporated skill for that week, and then we just put it through exercise routine. So it's kind of like a hybrid class. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We did the class last night, Malden. It was wonderful, but my legs were pretty tired by the end of it. You know, my knee joints were starting to hurt a little bit. And, you know, 73 years old, don't expect to be a young whippersnapper anymore, but warm-up exercises, I guess, would help before. I do a lot of cycling, so, you know, my legs should be reasonably strong, but any advice?
One of the things that that Jeremy's having me do lately is using the foam roller and the ball, and that seems to be really helping. We could maybe incorporate that more.
Okay, I have one of each of those.
Good. Do you have any thoughts? Yeah, like a warm up for dancing.
Yeah, like before and after, especially if we with the style of dancing that Malden teaches, it seems like it's very high impact on the feet and lower body. So the thing about whenever you're dealing with any sort of pain or tightness with the lower body, there's what we call the posterior chain. So it's the low back, the glutes, the hamstrings, the calves, and the feet. If one of those muscles in the chain become tight or overworked, then it affects the entire thing. So what I recommend is, exactly what Malden's doing. Prior to dancing, have some sort of mobilization routine where we get the muscles moving, so just don't go straight into the hard dancing. Mobilize your muscles first, then roll them out, do your dance routine, and then after just repeat the process. That's what I'd recommend.
Yeah. What do you do with the roller, Malden?
So the roller, I actually have on the site a video that I found doing some of the roller, but I do all of the parts of my leg. So it's the same, it's a routine that Jeremy gave me. So I do, well, you could probably explain it better than I could, but I do the quads, the IT band, I start at the glute, do the hammies, the calf, then the IT band, the quads. And then I take like a ball. I've been using a golf ball, which is kind of a little hard.
Oh.
But I do that. I roll my foot out with that. Yeah. And then I've been rolling my shin out as well. Mm-hmm. Which I could incorporate some of that in before we dance, or there's a video of it that you could do it before the class. I know when I work with Jeremy, I always have to, he makes me do all of that before I do my session with him.
Yeah.
And maybe your lower boxing warm up.
Yeah, the tucks and the pullovers.
Do you have any, I've been wanting to incorporate it, but I've been hesitant because of having to get on the floor for some of the stuff.
Mm.
Do you have maybe we could do like some ideas of ways to warm up some of that stuff or stretch without having to get on the floor?
Definitely, yeah. There's a lot of ways that it can be modified. Folks can just like use a chair to substitute with the floor. There's always some way to modify the movement.
I just wanted to share a little device that I have that sort of, in addition to the foam roller, is one of these jobs. It's kind of like a rolling pin. In fact, you could probably use a rolling pin if you had a rolling pin. So like for doing the front of the leg, that sort of, that sort of movement, and then that makes it easier if you want to do it in a chair and you don't want to get up and down from the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So you could just, actually a friend of mine did that. She found a toy rolling pin at a garage sale that was about this long, that was kind of perfect for getting like right into the little bits by the knee, so just a thought.
And
Can you
Jeremy,
explain the point of the rollers? I don't understand the, background here.
why? Jeremy, yeah.
I'm sorry, someone cut out.
Oh, she's asking to explain why you would roll your legs out. Why you would use a roller.
Oh, okay. So, the reason why people do it is what people say. So the term is called myofascial release. So sometimes muscles can sometimes get stuck, contracted. And so what would that do is create, obviously muscle pain and soreness. But essentially what you're doing with the foam roller is as you're going over the muscle, you're just kind of reminding it to relax. And so you just kind of think about your muscles as a dough that's kind of molded up like that. You're massaging the muscles so that they learn to relax back to their natural state. That's the theory behind it anyway. Some folks in the fitness industry would disagree. Some people are all about it. And then it kind of just depends what works for the client.
So how is that different than from stretching? Because I've heard some trainers say rolling or stretching, they're kind of interchangeable, but are they really? Or
I like to have my clients do it in tandem. So the idea behind it is to, once you get the muscles relaxed, then you stretch it. So you kind of get best of the both worlds. I'm not one of the trainers that are just like, it's one or the other, I like to think I'm pretty flexible in the way I think. It really just kind of depends what worked for the client.
I know for me, since I've been doing a lot of the foot and more calf focused rolling, I'm not as tight from the dancing. And then I also, I was getting like almost on the verge of like getting a cramp sometimes, or I might get a cramp at night. And I feel like I've gotten rid of that, been able to roll it. So I try and do that before I have to teach and work with you guys.
Yeah.
So I could bring it into the whole actual class so that we all do it for sure. Or we could have it as something that you do before class. You in your boxing class, you do the whole warm up, don't you?
Yeah, we always warm up together in the very beginning.
But you guys don't do a roller.
No roller in the beginning. Just a lot of mobilization.
Yeah, I don't have one of those small rollers. I thought you were talking about the big foam rollers that you put on the floor and roll your body over it, right? But
Yeah, that's the one Alden uses. But I think what Beth was
oh,
saying is
okay.
if you're uncomfortable with using that, then you can like sit on a chair and use a hand roller for the body parts.
Okay.
That,
Yeah, I'll have to get a hand roller. Yeah.
I have one similar. Let me see.
I have all of these.
Oh wow. Do you juggle too?
No. But this one I use a lot like on my back, and you can just roll it on the wall. It's like a dog toy, I think. Kind of squishy. And that, like, if you're not comfortable getting on the ground.
Yeah. So this is like one of the tools I used.
Oh wow.
It's just like let me see if I can angle this somehow. So like, for example, if this were a big foam roller, yeah, I would put it on the ground and I'd lay on top of it and do my rolling. But for example, if I wasn't comfortable, I can just sit right here, take my leg out, and then with two hands, obviously, I'd knead
Wow.
my thigh. Yeah. And one thing I like is with the foam roller, typically, well, once you find like an ouch spot, like an owie spot that's real tender, that's where like the knot is, and that's where all the muscles tight. And so you hold that spot and adjust your weight and just hold, apply pressure on it for 20, 30 seconds. But with this guy, all you do was just turn it on the side, and then once you find that knot, you just essentially stab yourself for a couple of seconds. Yeah.
So Jeremy, when you say mobilization in warming up for your class, is that a specific set of movements that is related to the kinds of exercise that you're going to be doing in the class?
Correct. Yep, exactly. So just depending on what we're going to be focused on, we'll do maybe more upper body workouts, or if we're doing more lower body that day, then we'll do more mobile lower body mobility. But there's always there's a set of exercises that we just do every day. Good question.
I've been reading about mobilizations lately, and because they seem to have, in a lot of people's thinking, replaced stretching. Sometimes they're called, what are they called? Active stretches or something like
Dynamic stretching, yeah.
that. But my understanding is a mobilization is just like swinging your arms or a jumping jack. Just, okay.
Exactly, yeah. So what I like to do prior to working out is dynamic stretching, so movement.
That's what it's called.
Yeah, and then usually what I'll do after is the static stretching, so like holding a movement. Yeah. I like the dynamic stretching before the workout because it'll bring blood to increase your heart rate and bring blood to all the areas that need to be worked. Decreases the risk of injury because cold muscles are more at risk. If you think of muscles like rubber bands, if you put a rubber band in the freezer, it's cold, bring it out, it's more brittle. But apply friction to it, make it warm, it's more elastic. So that's kind of the idea behind the dynamic stretching.
So the dynamic stretching is part of your warm-up. Warm-up means so many different things to so many different people. So I always curious what people mean by warm-up. Yeah.
Yes, warm-up can be, most trainers will tell you warm-up can just be whatever is getting your heart rate up. Yeah, so it can be just like a walk on the treadmill. I used to have I trained a lot of older folks when I was at LA Fitness. So a lot of people's warm-up was just like a 10-minute walk on the treadmill before we went and lifted some weights, along with some mobilization. I had one client who was like, she was 78, and I gave her first boxing class. It was really cute. Yeah.
Yeah, I've also heard of people, several of my teachers actually have said that the best warm-up is just doing what you're about to do, but lower, easier, like walking if you're about to run.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like for example, for the boxing class, we do all of the movement movements that we would do dynamically, just a little slower. So like, we would just do repetitive motion, nice and easy. So just like here, just go nice and easy here, because all these muscles here are the muscles we're going to be using for the next hour. So we just move nice and slow. Just get it moving. Yep.
I can't wait for the Shanos boxing mashup class that you guys are going to do together. Like, it sounds like such a perfect combination.
What was it?
But I can totally picture a Shanos boxing mashup class where you're doing steps and also boxing.
Yeah, step, heel, down, jab. Step, heel, down, jab.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
You know, there might be some possibilities, because even like the quick feet,
yeah,
that we're doing, yeah. I've been
Like,
thinking
do you
about,
remember the 3-punch each side drill with the steps?
is that where you move and then
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, side to side.
Yes.
Go, show them that one. Show them that one.
How about you show them that one?
You show them that. You're the student. You do it.
Can I do it?
Yeah.
Everybody
nice and
does
slow.
one. So you're like, oh no, you had to move. Is it side to side?
Yeah, side to side.
And then you're,
Yeah. And then now, whatever side you move to, you punch. Boom, boom, boom. Yep.
I like it.
Yeah. So like one of the warm-ups we'll do is we get the students moving side to side with a lateral motion. So just here, learn how to displace motion back and forth. Then once people get the hang of that, we add a punch to it. Okay. Then once people get comfortable with that, we add 3 punches. So we'll go. Yeah. So I like that drill a lot because it teaches students how to use their body as one, kind of linking the upper body to lower body. And just like dancing, we have to have rhythm and timing in order to do that without looking like a crazy person.
You do your classes with music, Jeremy?
I have music in the background. It's not like a driving force of the class, but yeah, just having music in the background to keep the energy high. Thanks for demoing that, man.
you're welcome. Hands.
Is that the Willie Keane shuffle?
Yeah. It's a fun little shuffle, yeah.
Well, and it's,
Yeah,
we don't use our arms a whole lot, so that coordinating of having to move your arm in a different way that your feet are moving is like very foreign.
Yeah, it's like rub your tummy and pat your head. Yeah.
But I'm just thinking that actually might really help with the tendency that some Shanos dancers have, is to, to get really tense with one arm. What is it? It's like the hitchhiker. You're sitting there with your arm at your side doing this while you're dancing, or it's the shark fins, or, it's whatever it is. So maybe that kind of drill where we've got feet going and arms going might help people relax their upper body and then use their upper body more in Shanos. Certainly for recovering step dancers like me, who are taught keep your arms by your side and your hands tucked behind your back. That's it seems the upper body is as much a part of Shanos dancing as your feet are.
Meldon's writing notes.
Yeah, I am. Well, this is too, it's already covered. So now I have to get a bigger piece of paper.
That's why I encourage the dancers I dance with to raise their arms when they're dancing. I don't know if that helps, but you can still do fish fins and hitchhike.
Thriller.
Yeah, we get the one of my students, she calls it her dinosaur claw, and it's just like this hand that kind of stays up here, and then the other one goes wild. Yeah, I've been wanting to incorporate more of the dynamic warm up and figuring that out for our what our bodies are doing when we're Shanos dancing and how that would help.
Yeah, no, I can definitely sit down with you and help you strategize. Like just some movement patterns you guys can go through to, yeah, just use for a warm up.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Could just steal your warm up.
Yeah, works too. But then we can also add like dance specific stuff for your guys too. Yeah.
Since this is hopefully informal, Malden, I'm going to put in my 2 cents worth. I would love if you want to do like a class about warm-ups, but I wouldn't be so excited about you taking class time to do more warm-up, because I can learn that anywhere. I live in the Bay Area. There's tons of class on movement and warm-up and old people, and there's no classes on Shanos. So I really want the class to be on Shanos.
Mm-hmm.
And like when I teach, I warm up with an easy, simple dance, and I tell people if they need more, do it before class on their own time, because I want to focus on Shanos. You can't get that anywhere. But yeah, many people do need more, and so learning how to do it, I think, would be great if you want to do a class on that.
Definitely. Yeah, and I have on the site, there's included in all the current classes, there's a page that is stretching. So you can, I don't know if you guys have noticed, is one of the classes on there. And it has a foam roller video, and it has some stretching that's specific for legs and back. And it's broken up to like 10-minute video that you can watch and do. So maybe I can recommend, instead of leaving it up to you to find it, I could put it in the class link and say, do this one.
Yeah, another good option, Malden, would be like a weekend workshop where like it's optional for folks who need more knowledge about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That way, if folks want to concentrate on the dancing, you can concentrate on the dancing too.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
I can definitely recommend just straight strength training for dancing or any kind of physical activity, though. When I started strength training about, I don't know, 5-7 years ago, I can't even remember, and there was such a pronounced difference in my ability to do everything. Like hiking was easier. I was no longer exhausted and didn't have that like leg pain from hiking. And dancing is easier. Just everything is easier once your legs and all your muscles are stronger from doing other stuff. So not just the warm-ups, but doing a strength training class is super, super important.
Yeah, it definitely makes life easier.
Yeah.
That's almost. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, should I be muting? Sorry.
No, you're.
Oh. I was like, oh, everyone's muted. I just realized.
we're trying not to disrupt your talking.
Oh. Now I forgot what I was gonna say because I thought I was being rude. Okay, you go first, Malin, because I can't remember what I was gonna say.
I was just thinking, like when I first started doing the strength training, and when I had like the little problems that I've had with tight muscles and soreness, they're for me kind of based on imbalance in my legs and my body. So like I have really strong calves, but my like inside thighs are weak, and my IT bands are super tight.
Yep.
So when I worked with Jeremy and then also with a physical therapist, it was like, yeah, the reason that you have that pain there is because this one part's weak and one part's strong. Yep. And so I've been doing that whole balance more, and I've noticed a huge difference in my performance ability and just balancing all of that out.
Awesome. Yeah, I remember what I was gonna say. One of the most uniform things I hear from my clients is that just strength training made life easier. Like that saying is like, life is easier.
Yeah, because especially a lot of the folk traditional stuff that we participate in that's dance oriented, it's so focused on like the form and how it looks or how the tradition is, and like, you know, strength training stuff, you're just thinking about like how are we doing all these muscles in the best way, and it makes such a huge difference.
You know, from what I've seen with Madeleine's dancing, it's, I mean, you have to have posture, right? And you have to carry yourself, and a lot of it's happening below the waist. Yeah, if I'm right. Yeah. So yeah, strengthening the core would be really important, especially with the legs, core, and posterior chain. That help a lot in terms of just being able to hold yourself without getting tired. Because I remember Mountain saying she can just like dance forever without having to take breaks. Well, I'm sure she could do that even before me, but and now it's even easier.
Can you tell me what is, I hear a lot about strength training, but what is it actually? What does it look like?
Strength training. So training with the intention of becoming stronger, I suppose. So you I'm missing someone who is there.
Using weights or just walking, or what actually does one do to strength train?
So yeah, movement patterns with the intention of getting stronger. So strength training plus weightlifting, I suppose. You can kind of clump it with resistance training. So as long as you're challenging your muscles challenging muscles in a way where you're trying to break them down. How can I explain this? So,
Well, because some of it can be used with body weights, some can be used with weights.
yeah, well, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, so you can have strength training, you can have resistance training, you can have like powerlifting. So those are different attributes. So like resistance training would be training with the intention to be able to perform a task longer. Powerlifting would be training with the intention of generating more force. Strength training would be training with the intention to make the muscles handle more load, I suppose. I don't know if that answers your question.
So could you give some examples of exercises for, I mean, because when I hear resistance training, I think of working with those rubber tubes, you know, pulling, doing like rows with a rubber tube. That's what I think of with resistance training. But can you give us some examples of what kind of exercises you would do for resistance training for power? What was it? Power building?
Powerlifting.
Powerlifting. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And the other one.
Yeah.
The
So.
classes, oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna do a really, like, my journey into strength was literally started with like, it was like the 7-minute workout. If you've heard of that, if you look up 7-minute workout, it's a series of 14 different exercises, squats, push-ups, but mainly like squats were a huge thing. When I started going to a boot camp at West Coast Fitness, and West Coast Fitness also has a ton of classes for seniors that I accidentally went to a couple times. But and it's the same exercises, just like a different vibe. It's less like we're trying to lift a lot of stuff, and it's just people being like, yeah, we're gonna do squats together, and then they set up different exercises in different places that focus on your back, and then this one focuses on something else. But some of them are just body weight, like, and squats are huge. Like, squats are the main thing. Like when I was doing the boot camp, and I'd be so sore afterward, and then I go backpacking, it's like, oh, I'm not tired after I go backpacking now. That's weird. Like, yeah. I can literally lift this backpack for 20 miles and I'm not hurting anymore. So, but squats, like just simple stuff like that. I feel like the simplest stuff is sometimes the best.
Okay.
I was asking the question specifically so we could clarify those terms, the term for powerlifting, the term for resistance training.
Yeah, so back to that question. So resistance training it's like a blanket. So I mean, pretty much anything that your muscles are resisting is resistance training, but it all boils down to like the intention of the training. Like for example, I can have Mountain do 100 squats, no weight, just body weight. Starts off really easy, gets harder as it goes. That would be an example of endurance training, because I want her to be able to do that motion repetitively for X amount of reps or for X amount of time. Or I can take 200 pounds and slap it on her back and make her do it 2 times, because I just want her to be able to lift 200 pounds, period. That would be an example of powerlifting. Okay. Strength training, that's also a little more of a broader term. I can have her take 60 pounds, make her lift it 6 times. Okay. Just with the intention of her taking her current, maybe she can only bench 60 pounds 4 times, and I want her to do it 6 times. That could be strength training, trying to increase her strength from being on the left X amount of weight, X amount of times, to X amount of weight, X amount of times. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it kind of just depends on the intention, what facet of, I guess, the body you're trying to train. Mm-hmm.
So would you have any particular advice, like squats came up, for people who are somewhat physically challenged and cannot do squats?
Yeah, there's definitely tons of modifications you can do. I mean, obviously with COVID and stuff, there are limitations to how creative we can get, but there are always modifications that can be done in order to make an exercise easier. Like, for example, one exercise that I would always, is like my go-to for my older folks, because a lot of people have like bad hips or bad balance or like bad knees. I mean, everyone has chairs, right? Everyone has couches at home. So all you do is you take all the same form that you have from, that you do with the air squat. Yeah, the side, legs out, posture up, hips down, drive up. Okay, if you cannot do that, or you don't have the strength to do that, use your couch, same movement, go down, sit, drive up. So that would just be like a simple example of a modification we can do for just like at home.
I don't sit down and stand up without holding on to something.
What's that?
I don't sit down and stand up without holding on to something.
In that case, what you can do is just like get a chair and prop it up in front of a counter. Yeah. Have your hands on the counter, sit on the chair, and then, yeah, squat from there. Usually with my older clients, when I was able to train physically, I just hold their hand. But we can't do that anymore. No more holding hands. Maybe if I had a hazmat suit on with the mask and the thing and then rubber gloves. Like, all right. Because as a boxing coach, oh my gosh, because I'm holding mitts for people, I've eaten so much sweat and spit over the years. So it's just probably not safe to do that right now. People are always like, and just spraying in my face. I'm just like, okay, do it again. Oh. So yeah.
Question.
Yes.
I get bored. Like, so I do, I'm at home and I'm working from home and I'm doing everything at home. I'm doing my workout at home, doing my dance classes at home. Mm-hmm. And I do the same. I do a 20-minute HIIT every morning, start my day, and then I go for a walk or run. And like the time it takes to find ways to change it up, like I just get so bored of doing the same thing over and over again. Like, what do other people do? Do you have a variety of things that you draw from, or?
Uh-oh. Did she freeze? Is she frozen for everyone else? Where did she go?
Whoa.
Oh, there you are.
My whole Zoom just crashed. That's never happened before. Yeah, so this is one of the reasons why I love dance, because the music and the steps, and it seems to me always changing. but I find the training is just so dull.
Monotonous.
So how do other people deal with that?
So what I do with my clients, like for example with Meldon, so every time we meet, we work on a different muscle group. So different days are assigned to different muscle groups. That way you're not doing the same exercise every day. So what we've been doing is that we do a week together. We go through the workouts. We split the workouts into separate body groups. She does them with me for 1 week. The following week, she repeats the workout for the week. And then after that, we meet again after that. And then I modify different variables. So like we change the volume, or we can change the intensity. We can change the exercise, but I try to keep it as fresh as possible because a boring workout is not very motivating for a client. And like sometimes, because I mean, just with the limitations of what the client has at home, more or less they'll have to do the same stuff. That's just, you can't help it, and depending on what equipment they have and what limitations they have in terms of their body. But I always try to come up with ways to make sure they're not bored.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Like, I am not bored. I can barely keep track of sometimes. Well, how many? What are we doing next, and how many? When I do it on my own, I write it out on my whiteboard up here so I can see it. And also, he's modifying it, even if I'm, because I have a bad rib. So if anything irritates that, then he figures out some other way to work that same muscle around that, and not having to move or hurt myself. So I feel like that we're always doing something different, so it isn't boring.
Yeah. If it is boring, just let me know. I'll get quietly offended and try to figure something else
But
out.
there definitely are trainers that are boring. My first trainer at LA Fitness.
Oh yeah. Oliver.
No, not Oliver.
Oh.
Oliver, yeah, Oliver was different. But my very first one, I would try and engage and talk with him, and all he would talk about was mowing his lawn. It's gonna be a great day. I can mow my lawn, and then the Blazers. And so I was like, okay, I don't have a lawn, but maybe I can talk Blazers. And I literally would walk. I got to the point where I would walk in, and I was like, I bet we're gonna do this, 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 and that today, and we would. And I was like, okay, I think I need to go somewhere else. And Jeremy, it's like, okay, now we're gonna do the Macarena plank. I'm like, what?
Oh, I forgot about Macarena planks.
Yeah, it's great. Hard.
Yeah.
Okay, somebody has to demo Macarena plank.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Yeah, take my.
Hey, there she is.
Can I fit on the? I don't know if I can fit on my passport.
That's one of my old school techniques. That's awesome. I still remember that.
Those guys in, and then you gotta get back in, and you just keep doing it.
Oh, I gotta bring those back.
It's TikTok all the time, but they're not doing it to the Macarena anymore.
Yeah, but it's fun because then you get first just the stability of being able to touch your shoulders and do it, and then do other parts. And that try doing that for 10 times.
Yeah.
That's
Younger me was full of stuff, huh? What the heck?
but yeah.
The good old days. Yeah, Oliver was pretty good too.
Yeah.
It's just he wanted to be a physical therapist, so he'd do physical therapy. Yeah.
Well, and just creative, our first boxing class when he started teaching it, he was like, okay, get soup cans. And that's what we're using to punch with.
Yeah, we gotta use what we got.
The things you have, yeah.
One of my personal favorites is the towel battle ropes. Did you ever get to use the towel battle ropes?
Mm-mm.
Do you guys know what battle ropes are? Have you guys seen those big ropes that people swing at the gym? Well, I mean, obviously, since we don't have that, what I did was have my folks just get beach towels and just do the same motion. Yeah, it's pretty good at home workout. A lot of the stuff
Attach
I
them to
do.
something, or
What's that?
do you attach them to something, or you just do the beach
You just
towel?
wildly flick them in the air.
That's perfect. Workout room is right by the old beach towel section of our house. So.
Yeah.
No, what was the
Let
other
them
one?
get heavier.
The other one he had us do was the jazzercise one with soup can.
Yeah. A lot of my workouts look really easy, but they're deceptive. And like, that's like my thing. I love psyching people out. It's really fun. No. Melton does good.
What's that?
I like pushing Melton to the point where she curses at me because it's so weird hearing her curse. It's so funny. I'm like, oh my goodness, young lady, the mouth on you.
I got it from my dad.
Yeah, it's my fault.
Malden, when I first met you at Friday Harbor, it would seem that you'd be dancing for like 2 hours straight. How on earth did you do that?
I think, like, if you asked me to run down the block, I'd be panting. Well, I've been running now, but it's just, I think it's just endurance. Like, I just have done that since I was 15. My body knows how to do that. But if if I got thrown into soccer, I'd be winded and have all kinds of, like, my asthma might come up. So I think it's just, Jeremy could probably explain better, but that's something, it's like the board thing. My body is used to doing that and knows how to do that.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a combination of just your specific skill set. Yeah, because dance, so we have our general training, which would be just like the basic motions, pushes, pulls, squats. And then like you have your specific training, which would be like dance or MMA or boxing or hockey, sports, skills training per se. For me, I think it's just a mix of that and plus her work ethic. Whatever I tell her to do, she just does to the best of her ability. It's great. No, you guys got a good teacher.
Yeah, we know that.
So Jeremy, are you doing group classes? I came in late. I'm sorry.
No, you good?
Or are you during this time, or what's your class schedule, or do you have a website or anything?
Yeah, I hold my boxing classes on Zoom every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Mm-hmm.
Which is why we don't have class on Monday and Friday. Although I'm not making it.
Yeah, I
And do you do a strength training class or anything?
I kind of incorporate strength training into the boxing. Yeah, so it's like I don't know if you heard me at the beginning, it's kind of like a hybrid class. So like we spend maybe 75% of the class boxing and then 25% is strength training. Yeah, I try to keep boxing the star of it, but also since I'm a personal trainer, I do know the importance of strength training, so I try to incorporate it into the boxing classes. A bird.
Would you be willing to share your website so maybe we could get some ideas or maybe sign up for a class?
Yeah, as of now, the website's not up and running yet, but I do have my Instagram that Melton linked in one of the emails.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's the primary way to contact me at the moment.
I'll look for it right now and put it in the chat.
Yeah, feel free to shoot me a message. I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Going off topic, I just finished binging on Cobra Kai.
Oh, nice. I heard it was pretty good.
It's funny. The entire cast of The Karate Kid is reprising their old roles. And they're old.
What platform is it on?
Netflix.
Netflix? Oh, Yeah, I heard
And-
Daniel-san grows up to be a jerk.
Yeah, he's a car salesman.
Oh, gee. Yeah, I've watched the trailer, and then like Daniel-san saw the kid who was the bad guy in the old movie.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, isn't that the kid you kicked in the face with the broken leg? He's like, yeah.
It's funny,
Yeah, I'll have to watch that.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for that, Melon.
Any other questions or?
Well, if no one has another question, I sort of have a practical question that came up because of my husband, the small piper, which is a bellows pipe, but you still have to squeeze the bag. And he took a break for about 6 months playing it. And as he's gotten back into playing it, I've noticed that he just plays very short little bits at once. And he said his arm gets tired from squeezing the bag. And so I told him, well, you have to play longer to build up strength. But when I said that, I was wondering if there's any other strength training exercises for squeezing a bagpipe bag.
Chicken wings.
This movement, yeah.
Actually, yeah. I mean, what you could do, maybe get like a small rubber ball. I suppose you just keep it under your arm and squeeze and hold. Yeah, that would be an idea. That's what I do anyway. That's a super specific movement. Yeah.
Do it while you're watching TV or something.
Yeah.
This is why there are tunes called Squeeze the Bag.
Yeah.
I play the small pipes too, and I have a gauge, like a water gauge that I can hook up the pipes. It tells me how much pressure I'm using. You have one of those, yeah. So you have to adjust the reeds and stuff accordingly. So.
Or what you can do is get a watermelon, and you know you're strong once you can break the damn thing. Just you practice, spend all day squeezing watermelon, and once it pops down, you know you're ready.
Chris, how long have you played small pipes?
I play the Northumbrian small pipes. I've been playing them since 1968.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't play that well. I made a set way back, and they're a beautiful, beautiful instrument. Nice and they're indoor, and they have a really pretty sound.
Yeah, my husband would like to get a set of those, but I won't let him.
They're expensive.
Yeah, does anybody else have any like specific questions at all for Jeremy?
Well, I have a broken ankle, so I've been struggling to figure out what to do to modify stuff. So I might have to sign up for one of your coaching things. I've been meaning to do like a personal trainer thing, but it's such a challenge figuring out what to do with the, to work out everything else when one part of your body just totally doesn't work. And
is it straight up broken?
Yeah, and I have to be off. I've been off it already for like 2 months, and it's going to be another month. And it's really crazy. Like, I got a scooter thing to just scoot around the farmer's market. And since both of my legs kind of haven't been doing things, just scooting around the farmer's market, my other quad it was like that good kind of pain. It was the first time I had like the workout pain in such a long time, but like, I'm really worried about what's going to happen. Even 2 weeks after not, having the foot in the cast, my calf had zero muscle tone. Like it's really astonishing how much you work out your body just by walking around.
Yeah.
But Yeah, so if you think you could do something, work with me for like personal training on just muscle tone for everything else, I'll get in contact with you.
Yeah, just a bunch of upper body work, upper body body weight training. Yeah, definitely modify around that, and then we can just make your other thigh really buff.
It already is. I'm already the hopping queen.
Have you guys, was that Big Fish? Have you guys seen Big Fish? That guy just works on one arm. He has one really big arm.
Is that just an aesthetic thing? He just wants one giant arm like Popeye?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the movie, Big Fish. All right.
All right. Well, thank you, Jeremy, for doing this. This
Yeah.
was really
for sure.
helpful.
Thanks for having me, guys. I had a lot of fun. Hope you guys learned some stuff.
Yeah.
If not, just feel free to shoot me a message. I'll be more than happy to chat.
And I'll when I put this for the class, I'll put his link there so that you can go look at his stuff if you're curious. And one of the things that I like, just with Jeremy's way of like teaching and explaining things, it reminded me of like some of the ways that I teach, and I kind of, I was excited to see him kind of leave LA Fitness and start his own business, because he's so clear and good at explaining something, and little things like, there was some boxing thing I just couldn't get, and he was like, oh, imagine there's like a straw here and you're trying to flick the straw, and then that was instantly the motion that I needed to be making. So I just felt like he's pretty good at figuring out what it is maybe in your brain that you're thinking if you're trying to do this motion, and he's know it's actually coming from here, and where it's all coming from, which is kind of, it's really cool. I'm fascinated by that. Well, so thank you so much, Jeremy, for coming in and talking to us.
For sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me, everybody.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun. Got a fun group of folks here.
All right, guys, have a great Wednesday. Maybe we'll see some of you in class tonight. Bye.
Bye, guys. Have a good one.